All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Nick Sorensen and Andrew Lau have the front row. Giancarlo and Max Gunther on the second row. Xander and Simon Zierk on the third row. Rudolph Gunther, Mike Dolling on the fourth row. Adam Barker and Yuho round out your top 10. Dylan Steinbach starting in 11th, next to Yannick Gunther in 12th. Tim Williams starting in 13th, Mike Marshall in 14th, Nick Edwards in 15th, Jared Heasley starting in 16th. George Cole, Brian Hewitt, Nicole Kriesel, and Kale Evian round out the top 20. Ryan McDaniel starting in 21st. All the drivers getting lined up on the grid. 21 cars taking to Road Atlanta this morning. Track temperature drops significantly after qualifying. It is a little bit later. Track temp starting at 95 degrees. Will it heat up or will it cool down is the big question. And we mentioned during pre-race, the Porsche seems to handle the heat better than the rest of the cars in the field. Everybody gets rolling. Looked like there might have been a problem on the front row getting rolling here, but everybody now in motion. Looking down from the blimp this morning as Nick Sorensen leads them around the 2.5 mile track. Ferraris on the front row, and sadly a Ford on the second row and a Ford on the third row. Could be catastrophic to the rest of the field when that Ford explodes. And you'll want to watch that 11th place car, Dylan Steinbach, in the Mercedes down these long straightaways will have a very distinct advantage. Here they come toward the final turn. The Porsche pace car heads to pit road. Sorensen in control, fires. They are away. Green is in the air. Race number 1 at Road Atlanta underway. And Simon Zierk is in a Ferrari this morning, folks. We have never seen Simon in anything other than a BMW. That shocked the entire field this morning. Yannick Gunther coming clear of Tim Williams as they head onto the straightaway. Brian Hewitt now up into 17th. Kale Evian now up to 19th as he starts to move forward. Down into the chicane, this is where things have a tendency to get dicey. As Rudolph Gunther is trying to hold off Adam Barker for 7th. And he is going to pull it off. Opa holds on to 7th. Everybody makes it through lap 1 without an issue. George Cole has had a problem back behind. Here he comes down into turn 1. Just overshoots. It is so easy to overshoot turn 1 here, but quickly recovers the car. Sorensen, meanwhile, opens up a gap on Xander, and Andrew Lau has had a problem. Oh, out of turn 1, Andrew just gets a little bit of the grass and sand, and it sends him around. Jared Easley has also had a problem back behind. Jared just a little loose and almost, no, he keeps it out of the wall. Loses a lot of positions, but he keeps rolling. Sorensen still has the lead. Xander now up 3 spots into 2nd. Giancarlo still in 3rd. Max Gunther in 4th. Simon Zier currently sits in 5th. Adam Barker has now made his way up into 6th. Mike Dolling on the attack in 7th. Rudolph Gunther has dropped back to 8th. Dylan Steinbach in the Mercedes now in 9th. And Dylan on the attack into the turn. Whoa! The Porsche's handling has the advantage, but Mercedes power might win, might overcome it. Yuho in the Lambo sees the opportunity to the outside. And Steinbach loses several spots. A lot of drivers pushing the track limits here today. Simon Zierk, Simon in the Ferrari this morning. Already on the move up into 5th. Yuho in the Lambo had picked up a couple of spots, but has now drifted back a bit. We saw that Lambo on the attack, found an opening and got by the Mercedes, but has since lost a little bit of ground. Hey, good morning, Steven Seams, and thank you to our new follower whose name I actually just as a bunch of dots. It shows up as one anyway. George Cole has had a problem back behind. He has gone to pit road. Let's see what happened. That car's off right in front. Oh, holy cow. He just gets bumped from behind and sent hard into the wall. Looked like this may have started with Brian Hewitt. Hewitt comes out of that final turn loose, hard into the inside wall. Comes across the track, and a lot of cars have to get evasive. A Porsche pileup. Hey, good morning, Cody. Brian Hewitt has towed to pit road after his incident. Seeing a lot of drivers really pushing track limits, some of them sliding off track as they try and make any move they can toward the front. Xander in second place, just set the fastest lap of the race so far. Sadly, he did it in a Ford. It is really heartbreaking to see two Fords in the field this morning. We know Giancarlo is being punished and having to drive the Ford, but man, did Xander really have to go there? Kale Evian is now up into 14th after starting 20th. He is the biggest mover so far. But a long way behind 13th place Andrew Lau at the moment. Jared Heasley also back in 15th, starting to gain some ground now. George Cole is back out on track, as is Brian Hewitt, both of those Porsches having recovered from that front stretch incident. Nick Sorensen had a bit of a lead earlier. It's gone. Giancarlo has gone around as the battle is on for the lead. Giancarlo coming down into that final chicane. Into the left-hander, the Ford just snaps loose. Gets it out of the way. Max Gunther managing to avoid him, but man, he lost a lot of positions. Ford's gonna Ford. Sorensen for the moment holding Xander off. Giancarlo is now dropped all the way back to 6th place. And he has Mike Dolling, Rudolph Gunther, Yannick Gunther, Tim Williams all right there behind him. Dylan Steinbach in the Mercedes also still lurks in 11th. And Mike Marshall in 12th is closing in on this group. Simon Zier currently runs in fourth at the front of this pack. Adam Barker in fifth, trying to find a way around. Adam looking to the inside as they go off into one, doesn't have the momentum. While they're battling it out, folks, don't forget, there is still time. You have till midnight tonight to get in on that drawing. Tomorrow night, we will do the drawing live. Somebody's going to get $20 in iRacing credits or a free copy of American Truck Sim. Go to our Facebook page, the pinned post has the link to donate the $2. Not very many people entered, so a very high probability you can make it. Also, don't forget, tonight we will be, for those not watching a football game tonight, we will be having some fun races. Make sure you join the HTSAI Friday Fun League, League number 6647. Giancarlo is trying to attack on Adam Barker and has given Simon Zier some breathing room, and Xander has had a problem. Xander was running in second place. Let's see what happened. There's Xander right on the bumper of the leader. Looks like he got too much of the rumble strip trying to come onto the straight. Quickly recovers, but still loses a position. Giancarlo, Adam Barker battling it out through the chicane. A lot going on in this race. Race number 2 is definitely going to be interesting. With the top 7 invert as of right now, that'll put the Minister of Defense starting on the pole. Mike Dolling currently running in 7. Meanwhile, Sorensen has got some breathing room as he comes into lap traffic. Max Gunther now in second, 6 1/4 seconds back. Xander currently in third, Simon Zier in fourth, Giancarlo back to fifth. Adam Barker in sixth, Mike Dolling seventh, Rudolph Gunther in eighth, Yannick Gunther in ninth, and Tim Williams in 10th. With Dylan Steinbach, that Mercedes power really has not been paying off like he had hoped this morning. White flag is, oh, holy cow! Brian Hewitt has a problem through the final turn. Brian comes down the hill, and oh, he just has to shoot to the inside into the grass, hits the wall, hits the other wall, ping-pongs it back and forth. Rudolph Gunther has also had a problem. Into the first turn, Rudolph had been moving up all morning, just gets loose. Keeps it out of the wall, but loses a lot of ground. And a very close call there, but in the meantime, Nick Sorensen coming out of the chicane down the hill. Sorensen will win race number 1. Max Gunther comes home in second. Xander comes home in third. And what a wild race, I can only say. Race number 2 ought to be interesting. Let's see if we can get a word with our top 3, starting with Xander. Xander, congratulations coming home in third despite being penalized with a Ford.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Yeah, well, the Ford is not a real penalty. It's more a show of power and will, sheer will.
Well, it definitely is that. You and Giancarlo both having some problems in the Ford this morning. Obviously, it had a little bit of it gave you a little bit of trouble with the rumble strips.
Yeah, my rear, the Ford is like every car that is in iRacing right now. It's like rear axle communicates with front axle, but Ford is that old. It's front and rear. You don't have like 2 separate cars in one car. So yeah, unluckily my rear axle locked and I spun around, but it was fun.
Well, you had a great recovery as well. Didn't lose much ground. You come home with a podium finish, man. Great job.
Yeah, thanks, Doug.
Looking forward to seeing how you do in race 2. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Xander comes home in third. Max Gunther coming home in second. Max, you came home in second, and you have all of Team Gunther here tonight.
Yeah, it's great.
It's been a bit exciting out there. You guys all in the Porsche, and it is obviously doing quite well on the slick track this morning.
Yeah, it's really good on tires today because of the heat, I guess. And the Fords are really struggling. That's what really plays into our hands. Yeah.
Well, the Fords always struggle because they're Fords, but man, you did great this morning. It is great to see the whole team back out there. Great job and congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you.
Max Gunther comes home in second, but Nick Sorensen pulls off the win. Nick, a great win to start the morning.
Hey, thanks, Doug. Yeah, thanks a lot.
It just looked like everybody else had problems and you just didn't.
Yeah, it's called a lot of practice this week. That's what you need at Road Atlanta. It's such a technical track, and there's definitely some spots where it gets you in trouble if you don't have that muscle memory.
The track has been extremely slick this morning as well. I heard a lot of drivers talking about it, and you didn't seem to be fazed by it at all.
No, we did some practice yesterday in hotter temperatures than this, so that helped get used to the track temps.
Well, it definitely paid off, but now you got to come from seventh rather, and charge your way toward the front.
Yeah, this may be an insurmountable battle here with the guys that are going to be in front of me. I got to hope for a couple of those spins again, so that might give me the chance.
Well, man, a great job so far, and hopefully you can pull it off again.
All right, we'll give it our best.
Good luck, man.
Thanks, Doug.
Nick Sorensen wins race number 1. Will start from 7th place. Track temperature has come down a bit more, but the track's still very slick out there. Temperature has been coming down all morning, now down to 90 degrees. It was 107 in practice, so the drivers are going to enjoy a little bit more grip in race 2. How much will be the question, and will it be enough to make a difference to some of the drivers that struggled during race 1? Dylan Steinbach out practicing in the Mercedes. It was a bit of a surprise to not see that Mercedes marching forward throughout race number 1. It definitely has a power advantage, and Road Atlanta has a couple of very long straightaways that you would think would favor the power of the Mercedes, but through the S's and some of the tighter turns, it just wasn't, the power just wasn't enough to overcome the handling struggles. Jared Heasley saying they really need that grip. Obviously, we saw a lot of sliding in race 1. Hopefully, the drivers will be able to keep a better hold in race 2. Likely to see the temperature drop just a little bit more. All right, folks, here we go. Race number 2. Mike Doling, the Minister of Defense, will start on the front row with Adam Barker. Simon Zierk and Giancarlo on the second row. Xander and Max Gunther on the third row. Nick Sorensen and Yannick Gunther on the fourth row. Tim Williams and Dylan Steinbach round out your top 10. Mike Marshall starting in 11th. Andrew Lau in 12th. Rudolph Gunther starts in 13th. Kale Evian in 14th. Jared Heasley in 15th. Nick Edwards in 16th. Yuho starting in 17th. Nicole, that's what she said, Creasel in 18th. George Cole, Ryan McDaniel, and Brian Hewitt round out the 21 car field for race 2. Jared Heasley getting on the grid as track temperature now down to 89 degrees. Only 1 degree cooler than the warm-up session, but about 6 degrees cooler than race 1. That's going to make a huge difference in the grip level. Cody, hope to see you back soon. Hopefully, you can come out and race with the HTSI community tonight. If you're not watching football, that is. Mike Doling starting on the front row does not bode well for the rest of the field. They don't call him the Minister of Defense for nothing. He is extremely difficult to pass. Mike has never been known for overtly blocking. He just puts the car where you need to be. Me either, Cody. Even going to try and get some trucking in this afternoon. Hey, good morning, Tina. Don't forget, shortly after this race, we will be back with Home Motorsports GT4 League. That is going to be some more exciting racing. We have seen fields of over 30 cars in that league. Tina, hope you're doing well this morning. Here we go. Pace car is in. Doling is going. Green flag is in the air. They are away. Race 2 at Road Atlanta. Doling leads them into turn 1. Adam Barker sitting in second. Dylan Steinbach, Tim Williams have gone off track back behind. We'll take a look here in a moment. Everybody makes it safely through the S's. Tim Williams has had a problem as well, as we have got a battle on. George Cole's starting to make some big moves. Let's see what happened at the start of this one. Headed off into turn 1. Steinbach on the outside. Looks like a little bit of bumping. Tim Williams hard into the wall. Dylan quickly recovers. Tim did not quickly recover. Looked like that Porsche took a very hard hit. Very hard hit. No safer barrier or tires there. Tim Williams had another incident a few moments later. That car broke, likely not handling right. Just misses the turn and comes to a stop. Tim has gone to pit road, got the car fixed, is back out on track. Doing good, Tina. The Minister of Defense still in the lead. Adam Barker in second. Giancarlo now in third. Simon Zierk in fourth. Xander up to fifth now. Max Gunther, oh holy cow! Sorensen Gunther, there's two Gunthers in it. Oh! I believe Jared Heasley also involved. Yep, that was Heasley. Let's take a look at this mess. Headed off into turn 1. Sorensen just has nowhere to go as Gunther gets loose. Max gets loose off into turn 1 under braking. Sorensen nowhere to go. Yannick nowhere to go. And then Jared Heasley has nowhere to go. He loses his entire entire hood. There's Heasley back behind all the chaos. Slows down a little bit, tries to make the move, just can't do it.
See that car there, Doug.
Hey, Jared. That was rough, buddy.
Yeah, honestly, I just didn't see them there. Then when I did see them, all of a sudden, I was dead. So it was fun. I'm dipping out of here. These guys, I tell you what, every time I show up in NSS, these guys are a whole different level. It motivates you to get better. I'm pretty good here, but these guys showcase it, man. You can't appreciate it until you're on track with some of these guys, how good they really are. So thanks to them again for having me come out. I think I'm going to show up in a few weeks at CODA, but we'll see.
Well, great job this morning. Obviously ending early, but hopefully we see you tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. I think I'm probably going to watch the game, but we'll see. I'll try to be there. And go Nicole. Hope she does well. She's moving up because I'm dead. So, as always, go Nicole. Thanks, Doug. Thanks to these guys. It was fun.
Great job, buddy.
Yep.
Well, Jared Heasley out early this morning. A heartbreak. Yannick Gunther still on pit road for repairs. And of course, cheering on Nicole, that's what she said, Creasel, who has now made her way up to 15th. Nicole on the move. Mike Dolling, Adam Barker, Giancarlo, the top three. Xander not far behind at fourth. Simon Zierk in fifth. Andrew Lau in 6th, Rudolph Gunther in 7th, Mike Marshall 8th, Nick Edwards in 9th, and Yuo back in 10th. Kale Evian in 11th, Dylan Steinbach in 12th, Sorensen lost a lot of ground, is now back in 13th, George Cole in 14th, Nicole in 15th. Brian Hewitt currently running in 16th, oh, holy cow, Ryan is around. Here's Ryan coming up through the S's. We have seen a bunch of cars get caught right there. That last set of rumble strips and the exit of the turn has caught numerous cars. Ryan fortunately able to keep it out of the tire wall. Ryan had moved up several positions, now back in 19th, still up from where he started, but now has to make up all that ground. And the Minister of Defense still in the lead, but Giancarlo has gone to second place and is now on his bumper. Giancarlo peeked out but couldn't make the move. Barker still sits in third. Xander is caught up in fourth. Simon Zierk in fifth is closing in. Andrew Lau now in sixth. Rudolph Gunther to seventh. Mike Marshall in eighth. Nick Edwards in 9th and Yuo in 10th. Dylan Steinbach went off track a moment ago. Let's see what happened. Here's Dylan in the Mercedes into turn 1. Just a bit outside. Shortcut through the grass, gives up the time, gets back out on track, but lost several positions. Oh, we've got a battle for the lead. Giancarlo finally manages to get past the Minister of Defense. It took over over there. It took right at 10 minutes for anybody to get past him. Let's see how Giancarlo pulled that one off. Coming down the long straightaway, Giancarlo sets up to the inside as they go off into the bus stop, or into the chicane rather. And a hard battle, maybe even a little contact, but Giancarlo manages to pull off the pass. That was quite a battle. Meanwhile, back behind, Xander now on the attack, coming up to third place, got by Adam Barker. Mike still holding on to second for the moment, but that other Ford right on his bumper. And now Xander looks to the inside into one. Adam Barker lurking right behind, hoping for an opportunity. Dowling pulls back ahead. I would expect post-race inspections for both Giancarlo and Xander this morning. I'm guessing those Fords likely have some, what does Dale Jr. call it? Innovations on board. Mark D'Antuna, good morning, cheering on Nicole. Nicole has been on the attack all morning. She currently up 2 spots into 16th. Does have Brian Hewitt closing in from behind. Hewitt up 4 spots now into 17th. Max Gunther, after that early issue, is back in 18th. Max came home second in race 1, but has gone way back. Xander has gotten past the Minister of Defense. And that means the Fords are currently 1-2 on track. If I had to guess, both cars are running jet fuel and have treated tires on them. Likely also nitrous, underweight. I don't know. We'll definitely make sure they get through tech. Mike Dowling still holding on to third. Andrew Lau has now gotten past Adam Barker to take fourth. Barker in fifth with Simon right on his bumper. And this is the first time that we have ever seen Simon in a Ferrari. Huge shout out to Simon Zierk as well, as he handles and provides all of our stats, points, everything. For instance, Giancarlo's average finishing position is a 1.4. The next closest is Adam Barker at 3.3. Mike Doling has had a problem. He is off track in the chicane. Mike battling with Andrew Lau down into the final chicane, and just almost gets into it. Lau hard on the brakes, goes around Simon, and Adam barely get by. Adam Barker still in fourth, Simon Zierk in fifth, Rudolph Gunther in sixth now. Mike Doling has slipped back into seventh. Mike Marshall in eighth, closing in. Sorensen not far behind in ninth. Yuho in 10th. Yuho in the Lambo again this morning. Dylan Steinbach currently sitting in 11th, and Giancarlo has had a problem. The leader is in trouble. Giancarlo heads down into that final chicane on the brakes. Same thing that happened to him in race 1. The first turn of that chicane, he just snaps around. Gets it recovered, but slips back into 5th. Xander now takes the lead, followed by Andrew Lau in second, Adam Barker in third, Simon Zierk in fourth, Giancarlo back in fifth. Has a lot of ground to cover, but has Rudolph Gunther in sixth, right on his bumper. Ryan McDaniel currently back in 20th, Yannick in 19th, both of them trying to recover from earlier incidents. Nicole now in 18th, Brian Hewitt up to 17th, Max Gunther on the attack trying to regain what he lost early in the race, now back to 16th. Tim Williams currently in 15th. Tim is closing in on 14th place, George Cole. Brian Hewitt has had a problem. And he has gone to pit road. Let's see what happened. Coming up out of the S's. And again, just gets those rumble strips and hard into the tire wall. A heartbreak we have seen numerous drivers deal with this morning. Xander still has the lead, but only 1.5 seconds ahead of Andrew Lau. Lau is closing the gap. Adam Barker sits in third, Simon Zierk in fourth, Giancarlo still in fifth. Giancarlo has managed to put some space between him and sixth place Rudolph Gunther. Mike Doling still holding on to 7th. Nick Sorensen in 8th. Mike Marshall in 9th, closing in. And Yuo coming with him in 10th. Nicole Creasel has had a problem. The far end of the track. Oh, she was going wide to let Adam Barker go by. Almost gets into Simon. Wow, close call there. Bit of a heartbreak for Nicole, who had been marching up all morning long, trying to move out of the way. Nicole still holds on to 17th at the moment, trying to close the gap on Max in 16th. Ryan McDaniel is in for his pit stop. The first driver in for a fuel stop. Will we see tire changes? Ryan McDaniel is going to take tires here this morning. Will we? Oh no! Xander is going off track. The leader is off track again. There's Xander coming out of turn 1 to the top of the hill. Just snaps loose on him over the hill. Minimal damage getting into the wall, but right in front of a lot of cars. Cuts down through and has to give up a lot of time. Andrew Lau has now gone to the lead after starting in 12th. What a run for him. Lau came into this morning second in points behind Giancarlo. Giancarlo currently sitting back in 5th place. Sorensen is on pit road for his stop. Will he be taking tires? This could be the moment we determine what the rest of the field is going to do. He is in, but the car does not go up. It'll be a fuel-only stop. Fuel only, he is away. Andrew Lau has the lead for the Ryan McDaniel has had a problem. He is on pit road. Ryan coming down through the final turn. Oh, just too much of the apron. Loses his rear spoiler. Oh, his spoiler flew to pit road. Tries to get the car recovered, but without that spoiler, limps it around. He eventually pulls off and tows to pit road. A heartbreaking morning for a lot of drivers. Nicole Kriesel is on pit road for her fuel stop as well. Yannick is back out on track. Kali Evian is also back out on track. Max Gunther, who had that problem early in turn 1, has made his way back to 15th. George Cole up 5 spots now into 14th, has quietly been making his way forward all morning long. Tim Williams now in 13th. Sorensen, after winning race 1, is now way back in 12th after that early incident. Nick Edwards currently in 11th. Giancarlo all the way back in 10th. Giancarlo did complete his pit stop. Dylan Steinbach now in 9th. Mike Marshall currently 8th. Yuho in 7th. Mike Dolling in 6th. Rudolph Gunther currently in 5th. Simon Zierk 4th, Xander in 3rd, Adam Barker in 12th, and Andrew Lau with a 4.1 second lead. Hey, thanks, Ryan. That was kind of a heartbreaking end for you. I thought you were going to make up some ground. Ryan McDaniel is back out on track, back in 20th. Still a lot of pit stops and a lot of racing ahead. Can he make up some ground here? With the chaos we have seen here in race 2, anything could happen. Track temperature has dropped significantly since the start of the race. Green flag drop, track temperature was 89 degrees, now down to 84 degrees. That will give the drivers a little bit more grip, but you have to wonder, as we have seen, if they are making the necessary adjustments, or is that additional grip causing them more problems? Hey, good morning, Cowboy. How are you? Simon Zierk gives up 4th. He is in. Will Simon take tires here? It is going to be kind of a question mark. Some of these drivers may go ahead and take tires to pick up a little bit of speed. And no tires for Simon. Yuho is in. Mike Marshall is in. Awesome. Hope it went well for you. I saw you went live about the same time I did. Looks like Xander had a problem. Heading down into the... Oh, that thing just slides through the S's. Gets back out on track, but he does have to give up the time. Cowboy, I have definitely had days like that, buddy. Andrew Lau, Xander, Rudolph Gunther, Mike Doling all on pit road. Adam Barker now has the lead. Dylan Steinbach is in. Giancarlo, the highest running driver that has completed his stop, now back up into third. What time do you usually go live, Cowboy, so I can make sure I'm available to watch, or at least lurk? Giancarlo now back into third place. Adam Barker still has not completed his stop. Will he be in here? Adam Barker to pit road as the leader. Will Andrew Lau reclaim the lead here? Giancarlo will now take second. Maybe Adam is already rolling. Here comes Giancarlo. Adam Barker comes off pit road just ahead. Giancarlo has the momentum and has to get onto the brakes. Cowboy, I just made a note of that, and oh, Giancarlo is around. Ford's gonna Ford. Coming up out with the same place we have seen this happen so many times today. Giancarlo goes around, but with all the traffic coming, he gets held up from getting back out on track. Cowboy, I made a note of it so I can see what I can do to help you out, buddy. And Cody, I have to agree, typical Ford, bud. Andrew Lau out front now by 8.8 seconds. Xander back in third, 1.1 seconds back. Simon Zierk about 2 points. Wow! Simon had one heck of a run coming onto the straightaway, pushing that Porsche. Rudolph Gunther has made his way now up to fifth. Giancarlo all the way back in sixth. Sorensen back up in seventh. Yuo in eighth. Mike Dolling in ninth, and Dylan up to 10th. Max Gunther has fought his way back up to 11th. However, a question mark still remains with Max. He was on pit road on lap 3 for repairs. Likely took a full fuel load, but will it be enough to make it to the end? Mike Marshall back in 12th. Nick Hughes in 13th. No, that question has been answered. Max Gunther is on pit road. He did not have enough fuel. Andrew Lau's lead continuing to grow over Adam Barker. Adam now battling with Xander. They are coming down the hill toward the chicane. This is going to get... Oh, the Ferrari outbrakes him. And, oh, a little bit of bumping. Xander is around. There they are, side by side. Adam just outbrakes him into it. Xander got the better run out, but had to get on the brakes and just too hard goes around. Quickly recovers, but lost a lot of ground. This race has been so exciting, I'm about to run out of space to make notes. Andrew Lau's lead now 10.8 seconds over Adam Barker. Simon back up into third. Ferrari 1, 2, 3. Checking my notes real quick because Andrew Lau is currently on lap 27. If I remember correctly, NSS has a 30 lap max, so we may not even get to the end of this time. This race may be cut short. Nick Sorensen has had a problem. He is towed to pit road. Two laps to go. Sorensen in the mix, coming down the hill through the final turn. Oh, Sorensen wide. They were trying to make that final turn 4 wide. Looked like he got a little bit of the wall there. Down into the S's, he had another problem a moment later. Oh, a lap car spins in front of him. He stabs the brakes, and the car just goes around. Andrew Lau, meanwhile, comes through the final turn. Barney has the white flag in the air one more time around. Nick Ellers has had a problem. Nick coming into that first turn, just too much of the rumble strips. He goes for a spin right in front of the leaders. Nick has recovered, is back out on track, but is in 14th. Meanwhile, down the long straightaway, Andrew Lau's lead now 13 seconds. Down the hill through the final turn, Andrew Lau pulls off the win. Race 2 at Road Atlanta. Adam Barker comes down to finish second. And Simon Zierk will come home in third. Let's talk to our top three, starting with Simon. Simon, that was a great run.
Thank you, Doc.
I don't know what to say. It was so weird seeing you in a Ferrari this morning.
Yeah, Bathurst 12 hours is coming up and I need some practice in the car, so I choose this car instead of my usual BMW.
Well, it definitely paid off this morning. You had some of the most consistent laps out there. More importantly, you managed to keep the car out of trouble and keep moving forward.
Yeah, it's not a Ford, so trouble is not that often happening in this car.
Oh man, an awesome race. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Simon Zierk came home in third. Adam Barker finishes in second. Adam, you came home in second, but that was definitely a wild second place finish for you.
Yeah, that was a really crazy race. Very much dominated by the traffic. We were really struggling to pass everyone. There was just so many people lapped, and there's not that many places to overtake. So people were getting out of ways in questionable positions, maybe. 'Cause they're not really used to being passed like that, and some people were holding their lines, and I know that's how Giancarlo crashed. He didn't realize how slow we were going to be over the left bump, and with the Ford being a Ford,
Exactly.
it didn't like it. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but it was good for me. And the last few laps was definitely interesting, with Zando hunting me down with the Ford's like a rocket in a straight line. So no chance I could defend on the straights. Just had to brake late, and I think he touched my rear, and it sent him round. So.
I have to say, I think we're going to have the cars in post-race inspection. I do believe the Fords were utilizing nitrous or jet fuel or something.
Yeah, they're crazy fast, aren't they? But then they're not too good when it gets to the twisty bits.
No, they are not. And thankfully, you guys pulled a Ferrari 1, 2, 3, so it was a great way to finish the day.
Yeah, when we saw 1, 2 Fords, we knew we had to do something. Otherwise, you'd be in trouble.
Well, you definitely got it done. A great race, Adam. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Adam comes home in second, but Andrew Lau pulls off the win. Andrew, man, first off, a great race. Thank you for not letting a Ford win. And you're going to close up the points dramatically on Giancarlo this morning.
Yeah, it was a good race. We avoided a lot of carnage in the beginning and got some good overtakes. And then Ford's just doing their thing and dying. So, yeah, good win.
You have to say, biggest mover of the race, too. You started all the way back in 12th. Did not have a great first race, but, man, what a comeback in the second one.
Yeah, that first race was a tough one. I was trying to at least try to get into the top 7 to maybe be in the invert starting grid, but yeah, just a little bit of luck in the beginning and then some good overtakes.
And it definitely paid off. It's going to tighten up this points battle with just a few weeks, with about 3 weeks left to go after today. Things are going to get interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight season this season. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Well, man, a great job, a great comeback in race 2. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget, we will be back live here before long. In just under an hour, we will have the Home Motorsports GT4 League. So there's something to look forward to. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you all had as much fun as we did. We'll see you shortly. Have a great afternoon.